That was a report by journalist Felix Akoyama. I wish I were in that cinema, really. But I will be bringing a lot more of such stories also in subsequent bulletins. But when we return from this break, we'll be heading to the Electoral Commission head office because you are told that the Progressive People's Party is the first to file its presidential nomination this morning as we speak. We'll be touching base with our reporter who is currently at the EC head office for a lot more. But that'll be after this break. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Desk. And now, the Progressive People's Party is the first to file its presidential nomination forms at the Electoral Commission here in Accra. Today marks the final day of submission of forms by all parliamentary and presidential posts in the upcoming December poll. So, my colleague Joseph Akable joins me now on phone from the EC head office with a lot more. So, Joseph, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us what the situation is now? We are told the PPP has filed. What more do we know?
A very interesting development just took place here at the Commission's office, and that is the fact that the bank draft of 50,000 cedis of the Progressive People's Party is in the custody of the Electoral Commission, contrary to the earlier candidates whose monies were brought in that was not accepted. Now, the sequence of events was that a PPP team was led by me, Alote Puhamo, the party chairman. They presented the forms to the Electoral Commission. It was accepted. Then at the tail end, when he was about to leave, he mentioned that they have their bankers draft in there as part of the form. So if the EC is saying they are not taking it back, then from the parties, then they want the bank draft back. Then the Electoral Commission chair goes like, but you know you're speaking as to court of advice, so why do you present it? If that is the case, you are not giving it back. So the money now remains with the Commission as it stands. It has not been given to the Progressive People's Party. I spoke to Nia Lutepiamo to get an understanding as to why they have filed the suit in court and they still went ahead to present the bank draft. And the point he was making is the fact that about 2 days there was a communique from the Electoral Commission directing that parties comply with the requirements spelled out in the nomination form, and that was what they were doing. And he also mentioned that so they presented it and they tried to take it back like the commissioner said, but the money wasn't given back to them.
But this communication is talking about is a communication that's about 48 hours old. Yesterday, the EC came out with a different directive. So why do they stick to the earlier directive?
Exactly, and that is the question I put to Mr. Puamon to try and understand why, even apart from that, if they are able to finance the money, then why then go ahead and still present it? But he makes the point that DS was to comply, and they decided to comply because as far as they are aware, that is what candidates were supposed to do. And it's a bit interesting because if you recall, the policy advisor of the party is also on record accepting their contempt of court action against the Electoral Commission. They accepted a bank draft of any candidate, but it appears they accepted that of their own party. I'm still trying to engage the Electoral Commission to get a response from them. They are confirming indeed the money is in their custody, but they are still holding on a bit to the communication as to why exactly they received it. But not just the PPP have showed up this morning. We also have Richard Nixon Tete of UDSP. He also just showed up just some few minutes ago, and as I speak to you, he's also presenting his forms.
And his bank draft was also taken, I guess?
No, for his wasn't
his wasn't taken. So far, the Progressive People's Party is the only party that has had to pay these monies.
Exactly, Kwabna.
Okay. I know you are not an expert in this field, but let me still ask, what does this mean for the pending case in court?
Well, it's a bit interesting. You know, we all understand how the contempt of court works out, and what we can't tell, but because in this case, that's why the sequence of the events is very important, and that is the fact that the EC didn't request for it. In fact, the commissioner wasn't aware when the money was given. It was later when the man was about to leave that the commissioner said that, so we are not accepting a bank draft because of the court case which you have found. Then, we drew our attention that the banker's draft was among the form that they presented. So if they are not accepting it, they want it back. And the commissioner said, you know that, so why did you bring it? So you are not getting it back. So that was the sequence of events. So it will be interesting to hear the legal view.
Indeed.
But in my layman's understanding, we sense some contempt in there.
Okay, right. Many thanks for that update, Joseph Akable. And Joseph Akable is bringing us updates from the Electoral Commission head office. In a bit, we will be speaking to a lot more people, including the legal brains, particularly the lawyer for the Progressive People's Party, to find out what this means, particularly for that very suits they are pursuing in court. But let's stay with politics this time round to some other regions. And some supporters of the Progressive People's Party in Yeji, in the Pro District of the Brunafo region, yesterday, they've been speaking to Joy News, and they say they are fed up with the continuous hardship in the country. According to them, they believe only Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum can help improve their lot. My colleague Precious Semevo is joining me on the phone now with some more. Precious, good morning. Tell us a lot more about what the PPP flag bearer has been saying, or indeed the many concerns being raised by the electorate in this community.
Now, the electorate has Papa Kwesi Indum has them in about almost 8 constituencies. In the final day of his tour of the Brunafo region, the core really has been the hardship that they continue to suffer under the current government, as well as the other government that has ruled, Ghana for all this while. Now they believe that if you check the track record of Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum on his own, he has done enough, and they believe that when in the entire resources of Ghana, he will be able to add a lot more. Now, yesterday in particular, whilst we were in the Senate, for instance, as well as 2 Eastern West 2020, where we have parameters and then KJG, then TJG, Atebubu, Amantin. The fourth really was about the bad nature of the roads within this constituencies, and they believe that Papa Kwesi Indum has what it takes to attend to their problems. They say economic hardship has been high, pain of fees, feeding their family, and the general standard of living is gone over the roof, and it's difficult for them to afford their own. But as I speak to you now, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum, about a minute or two ago, entered the Techiman Palace here in Techiman, where he is conferring with Otiadeyo Kunti Emir the fourth. That is the Techiman Manhini here about some interactions while he is in the region and in Techiman South in particular, as well as state in the Yam Festival ongoing. Papa Kwesi Indum will be bringing his tour to an end today, but earlier this morning he had a brief interaction with the media where he said that the Brunafo region as well as Ghana for a whole needs to be expanded infrastructure-wise. He lamented about the poor nature of the road and believes that if we need to get things going and get lots of investors coming into town to help through the way we do our agriculture as well as our other sectors of the economy, then infrastructure base of the country needs to be improved. And he believes that the current government has not done enough, and he is the one with the acumen to be able to improve on that.
Okay. Precious, many thanks for that. Turning to you later on for a lot more, and that was a Precious Semevo reporting from the Brunafo region there. Let's still stay with politics, and the ballot box this Friday makes a stop in the Upper East region to find out the key issues that will influence the votes of residents. Now, at 5 p.m. today, live from the Fumbisi Market, Joy News brings interactions between political actors and their constituents in the Busa North District on their major developmental needs. Head of Joy News' political desk, Evans Mensah, is also the host for Ghana's leading election program and joins me on the phone on the build-up for this very event. Evans, can you tell us really what the atmosphere in the town looks like, even as we get ready to have that very live broadcast on television, on radio, and online as well?
Well, it's been very passionate, very, very passionate. People are eager to have this opportunity to interact with their candidates on the key issues of most importance to them. We are calling the issues election deciders because that is what they are about. These are the issues that people have told us they will hinge their votes on. These are the issues that will influence their votes. And so far, we've had diverse, complex number of issues. Some of them we haven't seen in the last 7 regions that we've visited with the ballot box so far.
What are some of these issues you speak of?
Well, for one, we are in the Upper East region, and I'm pretty sure you're aware that over the last month or so, we've had a conversation about dams and irrigation projects. And Nado, for example, made a promise that if he's elected, he's going to make sure that regions of the 3 northern areas will have 1 dam, 1 district. And in keeping with that theme, we've seen people come forward and say, well, we need dams, we need irrigation projects for our districts and our constituencies, and whichever party has a plan to deal with that will get our votes. But I must say, when it comes to dams and irrigation, in Busa North and South, where we are focusing, we've again seen in the ballot boxes people who are again pointing out that they already have dams, and that these dams have helped them, for example, manage to produce vegetables in the dry season, and that what they want is something else. So people are talking about roads, for example, which is a key thing. There's a road from Sandema to Fumbusi, where we'll be hosting the live show, is in terrible shape. In fact, that is the #1 issue of concern to people, and we're going to talk about all these very diverse, complex issues tonight.
Okay, Evans, many thanks for that update. That's Evans Mensah. He's host of that very leading political program right here. In fact, it's across the entire country, and it will be live on radio, on television, and online as well from 5 p.m. right here on your Joy News channel. Remember, this is your election headquarters. This is where we bring you the most comprehensive news content, and indeed every election related matter is properly dealt with on this very platform. We are live on television, on radio, as well as online from 5 p.m. Do make a date to join the team. Remember, it's in the Upper West region from BC. That's where we are having that very live broadcast. Still staying with politics, and Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and Member of Parliament for Joaboso, Kwabena Minta-Akando, has launched his campaign for a second term. Addressing his supporters, he counted chip compounds, police stations, and schools, which summed up to over 40 projects he has undertaken over the period. General Secretary of the Governing National Democratic Congress and Deputy Communications Felix Kwachio Fosu were among those who addressed the gathering.
Joaboso constituency, NDC, ESA, Yeko 2016, no. Yakandi for.
Speaking at the campaign launch, General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, seized the moment and advised the New Patriotic Party to relaunch its 2008 or 2012 manifesto, since they did not have the chance to implement its content.
The Amudia Sieno, Ewahe, Anunti, Meka Mamati Asiasa MPP, Womuni Manifesto. Na Yasramo Mokaja Mose Manifesto who come at the MPP for. Now Omaimu say a come back. Etodabia Achesono, Yedi Mani, 2012 manifesto no. Wamu Fado say, Yabiania, Adi Acheso. Wamu Kofamra, now Mufama Gana for say, any Nano Yantimian, Enti Waya, Neba, Yabedi, Nagana for Sumunyo, no one say,
Deputy Communications Minister Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, however, suggested a date for the NPP to release its manifesto.
Media Muajinia, say I'll show you. And before manifesto, no, and December 8th, and December 8th, and I have before manifesto,
The incumbent member of parliament for the Dwaboso constituency, Kwabna Minta Akando, asked the constituents to give him and President Mahama the mandate to serve them for another 4-year term.
Well, in some days' time, we'll be seeing how all this pans out. But you're still watching News Desk here on your Journey Channel Multi TV.